Disgruntled air traffic controllers meet with the Prime Minister. Ahead tonight, could they be close to a resolution on a years-long grievance? Religious leaders assess the country's moral state as they reflect on the Easter season. And got fish? Why, fish vendors say they aren't swimming in profits this season. All those stories and more straight ahead in the Bahamas Tonight.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, several family islands are to benefit from more infrastructural upgrades soon. Today, a contract was signed to improve health care in Exuma and agreements finalized for roadworks in Inagua and San Salvador. Janaea Noel Ferguson has details.
More capital works in the family islands is what Prime Minister Hubert Ingram hopes to achieve to decentralize government services out of New Providence and in the long term encourage persons to invest in the family islands, signing a number of contracts in several family islands today as the first step toward that goal. In Exuma, a $14 million contract was signed for a mini hospital to be funded by the National Insurance Board. According to Mr. Ingram, it is a promise made and a promise kept, and a part of an ongoing commitment toward transforming national health services. With its growing population, he noted that the Exuma's present healthcare facilities could not cater to the needs of the community. The mini hospital will have state-of-the-art amenities, including an operating theater, dental services, and a morgue. A similar facility will also be built in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. But even bigger things are on tap for Exuma. The Prime Minister said that they will also receive a gymnasium, a new port, and a bypass road. Health Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis was also in attendance and added that Exuma's population is expected to increase to about 24,000 residents by 2025. And the hospital would receive referrals from outer island clinics. Meanwhile, contracts were also signed for the Georgetown Dock, repairs for the Ferry Dock Bridge, and roadworks in Exuma. Works Minister Nico Grant said the new dock is expected to be completed within 24 weeks. He noted that after Hurricane Irene hit last August, the original plan to refurbish the dock was no longer applicable, and G&L Construction will complete the project for about $986,000, 5% lower than the estimated budget. The Ferry Dock Bridge, which connects Great and Little Exuma, will also be repaired within about 180 days for about $763,000. Now over in Inagua, Prime Minister Hubert Ingram signed a contract with Simonet Enterprise for the repair of roads, estimated at about $4 million. The nation's leader noted that this is one of the island's greatest challenges. He highlighted some of the island's more pressing needs. They included a seawall, clear drainage wells, park repairs, repairs to public bathrooms and cemeteries, and roofing repairs. To that end, the Prime Minister revealed that about $200,000 will be made available to undertake that work. A contract signing for repairs for roads in San Salvador will also take place, estimated at about $500,000. Reporting from San Salvador, I'm Janaea Noel Ferguson.
Well, they've been at the bargaining table for some time now, and they've threatened to turn up the heat if their outstanding concerns, largely over equipment shortfalls at the airport, were not addressed in a timely fashion. But today, the Air Traffic Controllers Union boss says progress has been made. LaDon Davis has more on their meeting with the Prime Minister.
A malfunctioning radar system, outstanding increases in salaries, and female prejudice in the workplace are just some of the issues which forced more than 80 members of the Air Traffic Controllers Union to mount work actions in recent times, causing some delays in the aviation industry. But President Roscoe Papal says an amicable solution at the negotiating table is near, as progress was made after another meeting with the Prime Minister on Tuesday.
We were able to meet with the Prime Minister, Minister of Aviation, Tourism and Aviation, as well as Junior Minister of Finance, Shivago Lang, accompanied by their Permanent Secretary and the Director of Civil Aviation. In that meeting, we were able to address ourselves to a number of outstanding concerns with the Bahamas Air Traffic Controllers Union. We have made some progress to trying to deal with a number of our issues, and while we have made that progress, there were some items that are still outstanding.
But there's some good news at the end of the tunnel for air traffic controllers and frequent flyers, though, as plans to purchase a new state-of-the-art radar system is in the pipeline. But just how soon will that happen?
Government has undertaken an IDB loan arrangement to basically overhaul our aviation product. In doing so, there is a commitment to purchase a new radar as well as other air traffic equipment at the airport. A substantial amount of money would be, from my information, spent with the development of the Abaco Airport, but discussions with respect to the radar is ongoing, and we should hope about in the next 18 months.
Rumors are circulating of a pending union strike during the busy Easter holiday weekend. When asked about the industrial action, Prapal answered this way.
At this point, I would not want to comment further with respect to any negative action on the weekend, because I have met with the operators at the airport on Monday, and I have also met with the Prime Minister yesterday, and both are concerned with this weekend.
LaDawn Davis, ZNS News.
Well, according to the Ministry of Tourism, as the Easter weekend approaches, all of the people in the tourism sector are preparing for a very busy but normal peak weekend of travel. Minister of Tourism and Aviation, Senator the Honorable Vincent Vanderpool Wallace, noted that hotels are full, flights are full into and out of Nassau and elsewhere in the country. And he says he's pleased that the government has met with the executives of the Air Traffic Controllers Union and good progress has been made. As a consequence, the Air Traffic Controllers have committed, according to tourism, to maintaining normal operations for the traveling public. Against the backdrop of the Lenten season, local pastors are banding together to address lingering crime. A press briefing was held at the New Covenant Baptist Church today as nearly a dozen leading clergymen tackled a number of issues, including murder, drugs, and gambling. Giovanni Stewart has details.
Topping the pastor's social agenda during Passion Week is the escalating spate of murder. 2 separate killings 2 days ago bring the count to 31 for the year. It's a mounting problem which Great Commission Ministries pastor Bishop Walter Hanchel describes as endemic. And despite new crime legislation taking effect recently, he's calling for even stiffer penalties for criminals.
Bail should be withheld for murder, for attempted murder, for rape, and for sexual, any sexual act against children. I believe that should be the rule of law.
Now, New Covenant Baptist Church pastor Bishop Simeon Hall says nearly half of all murders over the last 2 years have been drug-related. He made a pastoral appeal to Bahamians and foreigners in the Bahamas involved in the trade to cease and desist.
Drug dealers should think about their own families, especially innocent children that will be left behind in the case of incarceration or death. We note also the involvement of some Haitian nationals in the drug trade and appeal to them to recognize how this fuels the animosity and suspicion many Bahamians already hold against them.
The pastors also hit out at gambling and the number houses, as well as alcohol distributors as major contributors to moral decay. Concern also shifted to a labor issue. Bishop Victor Cooper of New Bethany Baptist Church addressed the well-being of employees at the struggling City Markets food store chain. He notes that there have been talks of potential buyers, but questions what happens to them in the interim.
What is even more troubling is the fact that these employees have not yet been paid. And we are aware that many of them have worked for weeks without pay. This is unconscionable.
During this Holy Week, pastors are calling on members of the public to be even more unified to hopefully bring an end to this growing state of social disorder. Reporting from New Covenant Baptist Church, I'm Giovanni Stewart, ZNS News.
Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, fish vendors say the tides have turned on Easter fish sales. The story is still to come.